Welcome back to the Innovative Agency all. It's good to be with you again. It's Sharon Torek, and I am looking forward to today's conversation because I am looking forward to taking as many lessons back to my own business as many of you might take back to your agencies based on our conversation. And it is all around the issues of choosing your path in terms of a client niche or a service niche and using it to inform your business model and how you design the way you offer what you offer to potential clients. And so, Colleen Gallagher, you are the CEO and founder of OnWrd and UpWrd or UpWrd and OnWrd. Did I mix that up? OnWrd and
Oh, you
UpWrd.
got onward and upward. You got
Got
it.
it. Thank you. I thought I inverted it there for a second. So thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate the conversation today.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
So I think it's important to talk about what the focus of your agency is, and it's relevant because we're going to talk about a couple of things and how they intermix with each other, and that is choosing a niche. And everybody who listens to the podcast or who talks to me about their business knows that I'm a big fan of niching. I implemented it in my own business, but why it's important, how it's been important to your pathway as an agency owner, and then sort of how it's informed the way you've designed your services and how you talk about your services to potential clients. So, first of all, tell us a little bit about what OnWrd and UpWrd does and who it serves.
Yeah, absolutely. So Onward and Upward is a little over 3 years old as an agency. And while this was not how we started, because we took a little bit to get here, we are really focused now. And our goal is to help trade associations become the go-to source in their industry or profession through earned media and thought leadership.
Got it. And so what made you decide that this would be the right niche for your agency?
So it's probably where we should have started, to be honest. But we launched the business, my co-founder and I, in the midst of the pandemic. And because I like a challenge, I was also 6.5 months pregnant at the time and ended
Of
up
course.
having my baby 2 months early, 2 weeks later. So that first year was an absolute blur and craziness. And it was one of those things where, well, we need to make money. We can do this. We can work with them. We'll take this. I kid you not, Googling how to build a website, and I designed someone's website as something we did. We did
Oh no.
everything. I didn't sleep for that first year and a half, so realized we need to get smarter. We need to do what we're good at, and we need to do something really valuable. And both my co-founder and I spent our entire careers leading up to launching the agency working in trade associations. We
Mhm.
know them inside and out. We know they have so many unique needs compared to the corporate world and other types of companies. And we knew we're good at the earned media side of things and that thought leadership piece of making them that go-to source. And it's something every single association we talk to,
Mm.
for when we've worked in them, where we are now, every single association wants to be that. They all want to be the leader. They
Mhm.
usually in their boilerplate all say the premier organization in here, the leader in here. That's their goal. And we show them how we can help them get there through getting great media placements and producing impactful thought leadership content.
Awesome. So I wonder how much of the way that one of the things I really want to dig into, because my observation is that agencies find it hard in new business to talk about exactly what they do and exactly what the boundaries are around what they do and don't do, and exactly how they price. And it's almost as if there's some fear around being too specific too early in the conversation. But what has stood out to me when I looked at the agency's website and in our short conversation before we recorded the episode today is you're very straightforward about it with your potential clients. And you've been very specific about what you offer, how you package it, and how you price it. So I would really love to learn sort of your thinking around how you decided to do that, how you did it, how you crafted that before you published it, because you had to have you had to be nailed down, right? In terms of your work scopes, your cost of delivering the service, all that stuff. All the stuff that agencies don't love to think about, really, in my experience. So talk a little about your decision to do this, to be this plain straightforward about it with potential clients, and then I would love to talk about how you implemented it in your agency.
Yeah, I think there was kind of two real drivers. One was having been on the other side of things for so many years and experiencing just frustration with not knowing what a PR firm was going to cost, what you were going to get out of it, and playing that game of what's our budget, what's their budget, how much is it going to be, what's really included, are you going to nickel and dime us on hours, things like that. And knowing we didn't want to be that agency. So I
Mhm.
think that was a big piece of it. And then just starting to understand better what we're really good at and what is really valuable for our clients. So that kind of put us down this road to saying, you know what, we're going to do something that makes us stand out because there are a million agencies people can choose from. We all know that. So
Mhm.
what's, we picked our niche, but what is going to help us stand out even more in that niche? And what's going to make it easier for someone to say yes to us? And so someone coming in having no idea what we do or what we cost, there's going to be a lot more time in that sales cycle. And it's going to be a lot harder knowing, are we going to get there? In the early days, we took some really low retainers and did a whole lot of work. And we learned that was not profitable. That was not a good way to run a business. And we figured out what we're worth. And we really believe in the value-based pricing. We don't bill by the hour. I hated what agencies would tell me, oh, you're out of hours this month. Come on.
Yeah.
um, what is this really worth? I just don't like that way of doing business.
Mhm.
But I do know what we do and what it's valued at for associations. So from there, we started looking at where we've had a lot of success at different levels with our clients. And so since we're typically talking media relations,
Right.
it's a little different than a lot of marketing agencies that are more it can be, I think it can be easier to measure marketing success and have specifics like what we're doing. I think PR firms can be a little more abstract in terms of what you actually offer. And so we looked at the different levels of what does an association want from media coverage. And the first media you think of with associations is trade media that covers their specific industry.
Right, that makes sense.
And what's funny is you have some associations who love their trades, they get along great, they get everything covered, they have these amazing relationships. And you have some that are the complete opposite end of the spectrum, don't care about coverage in their trades. They have adversarial, sometimes competitive relationships with events they host, things like that. And they'll say things to us like, well, that's just the trades. And I always come back to them with, well, what do all your members read? Because
Mhm.
they're reading your trades.
Yeah.
So it's pretty important. So that's kind of our foundational base package is getting you that trade coverage and building those relationships. That's one area of media where I think relationships are still really important. I hate when I see someone post something, hey, I'm looking for a PR firm that has deep relationships in this big Rolodex. And I'm like, it's not 1996 anymore, guys.
Yep.
You don't just have a relationship with someone and get something in the Washington Post. You have to have a
Yep.
good story, a timely pitch, have the tools to find the right contacts, and then go after that story. And it doesn't
Right.
mean you need to know 5 Washington Post reporters to get that placed.
Mhm.
But with the trades, some of those reporters work there for 10, 20, 30 years.
Got
So
it.
those relationships become valuable and
Yeah, that
become
makes
really
sense to me.
important.
Right, right. Did you so when you were originally thinking about, "We need a better way to speak to our potential clients about how we design, um, our service packages or our service compensation," if you will, um, because you've got such an interesting, there's a something for everybody approach when you look at and you're very transparent about it, it's on your website. You've got offerings that are specific to a single event. It's a very comprehensive offering. And then you've got offerings that look more, holistic about, in terms of the organization and its needs in various areas. But you've got levels of service. You're very specific around the pricing and the benefits and the services of each level. And I'm curious about what kind of homework or back end agency math, as my friend Drew McClellan likes to call it, did you need to do so that you could be confident in designing the packages the way you did and committing to a price point that you were willing to publish about them? Because I think that is what is scary to agencies and probably most professional service companies.
It definitely is. I think what helped us is that we had been doing this work for clients and we are absolutely religious about time tracking.
Mhm.
We keep records of what we have achieved. We do a monthly, we call it success snapshot for every client. So we know what we've gotten them, what has been great, and we share that with them so they can see what's gone well. And so from that, I was able to really look at how much time are we going to spend on this? What is it going to take from a profitability standpoint on our end? And then we sat down as a team. We had our whole team in town for a team retreat we do every December. And as we outlined each of those three packages, we said, what can we accomplish in 30 days? Looking back at what we've done, what can we expect to have done for this kind of package in 30 days and in 90 days and over a year campaign?
Right.
And we were really specific. And then we thought, what is that worth to an association? Because it's not just, yeah, we got some great media hits. It's we're able to better retain our members and get new members because more people know about us and they know we're the leader. So we really outlined that. And I did know how much investment it was on our end in terms of the time spent. I was able to look at that in our system and really figure out a true value on that. And then again, put those specifics. People that want to go look, it's our core services, is that 3 level of more broad services you talked about. And each of them has something very unique that we've come up with that's worked really well for our existing clients. So we have proof points and case
At the
studies,
various
which
levels,
really helps.
there's something special about
Yeah.
it. Okay. Do you feel like you would have been able to have, because it sounds to me like you all had to look at both the art of what you offer based on your experience and your co-founder's experience on the client side, along with the science or math, if you will, of your profitability and, how much margin you needed to create for doing what you did based on the amount of time it takes, et cetera. Do you think you would have been able to be this transparent and um, descriptive about the way you price your services if you were not so closely niched as an agency?
Not in a million years. Because these services are so tailored to what they need. I'd also be remiss if I didn't give a little plug for my friends at the Sell with Authority podcast at Predictive ROI, because I've
Yeah.
worked really closely with them to develop these packages. And, I told them this was something they wanted to do, but they also really helped push me to develop those prices and descriptive language and make it clear in a way that shows not only what we do, but what the value is for the client. And I do think that background in that niche was absolutely essential, because this wouldn't mean anything to a corporation. They would look at these packages and say, why would I need that? So it really is valuable to have that niche there.
And I think what a lot of agency leaders or owners who are listening to this might be thinking about, because I know it's something they always worry about, is scope creep. What was your confidence level about avoiding scope creep? Because you're committed, right? At this point, you put it out there. Your client has said, yeah, I want package B, whatever you call it. And how have you, both culturally within your agency, whether it's from your operational standpoint or just sort of your agency's, work mode, how have you avoided the issue of damaging your margins because of scope creep? And how have you had those difficult conversations if they've become necessary with the client when you're getting out of scope or fear you might be?
It's tough, isn't it? I think that's the hardest thing I've had to learn.
Uh,
My first year and a half, I don't think any client was profitable because I would just do everything they asked and anything, and I never pushed back. Some of it, I think, comes with confidence
mm,
in what you're doing and in leadership. The getting the whole team buy-in piece that you talked about. So that's been something we've really carefully worked on. So you talked about the agency math from Drew McClellan at AMI earlier.
yeah,
I have taught my team that. I've shared everything I've learned from that. I make sure they understand the revenue isn't our overall goal. It's that adjusted gross income, and that looking at each client, this is how we know we're profitable. Every month I share what clients were profitable or not. We have 2 months in a row now where every client was profitable. That has never happened for us. It was the most exciting realization.
congratulations.
Um, yeah, so that was just awesome. But I don't know that I have a great answer other than we try really hard internally not to get to the scope creep point, and we try to be super professional when a request gets made that is outside of the scope to say, we'd love to help you with that. It's not included. Is it something you're interested in exploring, working with us on in a different contract,
Okay.
and go from there?
And so that's how you accommodate those requests, is you sort of amend your agreement with them, or you add a side project on and price that separately?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you had to do that
Yeah.
very often, or is it more on the rare side that that's emerged?
We've done better at managing internally the hours we're putting into the client and being smarter about that. That's how we've balanced the ones that haven't been profitable before, more so
Right.
than having to go back and extend a contract. We have, I think, two clients where we've gone back and added a project scope in addition to, typically we don't do a lot of project work. I'd say 80% of our work is retainers.
Yeah.
And there was those two that we went and added on a project in addition to the retainer work we were doing for them.
Right. So you do have the one example in your offerings where you center your services and package them around a specific event occurring, right? And the support of them around that event. What were your sort of your proof points around designing that package? Was it based on experience you had had with those types of engagements, or did you sort of slice and dice your services generally and make a hypothesis about how much it would cost to profitably service a client that way?
So that was a media day event at an annual conference or convention, and every association has this annual conference type event.
Right.
We had a really great proof point and story to tell from our work, co-founder Megan and I, while we were in associations. And it was this press day at the event, which was designed to elevate the coverage of the event, to provide ROI for the exhibitors. It was to allow them to share their news at a
Mhm.
press conference style event. And we grew it over 5 years at this association that we worked at, where the first year it was in some back room with a projector and a microphone and 10 reporters.
At a library.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then by year 5, it was in the main hallway on a stage, live broadcast on every TV in the convention center, and live stream for reporters who couldn't attend. And we had the likes of the Wall Street Journal in person. And we saw how it elevated that association and their members. And it's such an easy story to tell and gets everyone excited when they hear about it. So it was one, we knew how much work went into it. So it was very easy to put. Normally, I used to be very nervous about putting a big price tag on something, but that one, I said, nope, I know exactly how many hours I used to lose sleep over on this.
Right.
And I'm going to make sure if we do this, that they know what kind of value they're getting from it, and that we, get this price point from it too.
What I'm hearing from that is that agencies could do well to create maybe some case studies and do a little digging into a big project that they've similarly launched in the past for one of their clients, and think of their big successes, over time, and do a little bit of reverse engineering. And I'm just riffing here, but what I'm hearing is take an example of something that has been extremely successful for you that's discrete, has its, a identifiable beginning and an identifiable end, and look at your data. How much did it cost you to serve the client in that way? And how can you replicate it? And talk about that replication from other clients. Is that sort of a fair, maybe, summary of an opportunity that any agency could have to do what you did in terms of packaging their services?
Yeah, I love how you said replicate it, because that was something we sat down and looked at and said, what are the replicable tasks we've done that succeeded for clients? And how can we package that and do that for other clients? Because don't we always get more profitable and better at things when we do them again and again? And
Yeah.
when we have templates and when we know this is how we do this, when it just makes it
Right.
better, makes it more profitable, makes it easier. So looking for those repeatable tasks that succeed, 100% a great thing for all agencies to look at.
I would also think it allows you for building in enough margin for unexpected contingencies as they occur, because they have in PR particularly, something goes sideways every single time there's an event or
There's
there's a
always
campaign.
something.
Yeah, I mean, and it isn't just trade associations and it's not just PR. It's every type of marketing project. But when you're engaged around a specific event occurring, you're very time limited. And so the ability to sort of see ahead and plan for things that could go sideways and sort of maybe build that into your budget of servicing the client, I would think would be a cool idea to do. Um, do you find that you are examining your has this helped you to examine your numbers a little bit more carefully or a little bit more frequently because you're so prescriptive and precise around how you're pricing and how you're servicing the client? Do you feel like the agency leadership at your place has gotten um, better at this, or does it faster now, or has learned anything new about how to enhance the firm's profitability?
I think it's definitely easier now, and we're able to more quickly identify when something might be going off the rails,
Mhm.
what kind of questions get asked, what clients start wanting that pushes things to that overservice level. And then hiring is easier. We have a clearer vision of the personnel we need and the talents and background they have to have. Whereas before it was, can you do communications or marketing or digital or social or whatever you're good at? Come tell us and we'll throw you into something. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's made that a lot clearer too.
And then how open book were you about this with your team when you made this transition to talking about your work and your business model in a different way to clients? How did you socialize that internally to your team so that they understood that, all right, we're on an hourglass here, right? We have committed to do X for the client for X dollars, and we've got to get it done within that budget. How did you sort of socialize that within your agency's team?
I'm a big believer in ultra transparency, and sharing more is better. I know you never want to share something that might scare employees or throw them off or send them down a road they don't understand. But I think when you withhold information or reasoning, they fill that in with whatever they think the right answer is.
Yeah.
So I've tried to be very open and explain my thought process, how we got here. I'd asked for input from the team and incorporated that input, and then talked through the how we measure success piece. And I try and do that. I actually have a reminder on a project management as an agenda item every quarter to bring that up again on the team meeting, because we do a team meeting every week. And so I really think the more you can explain to your team why this matters, what it gives clients, why we need to do it this way, the more buy-in you get and the more excited they get to deliver on it, and to deliver on it in a way that's profitable for us too.
That makes sense. Are you thinking about, or have you already thought about tying any part of their compensation to how the firm does as a whole based on this model? Are you taking that into account into the way that you compensate your team members? Have you made a
We
change
did
as a
we
result of it?
we rolled out a new bonus program this year that was completely based around hitting our AGI goal every month. So each month I let them know what our goal is, what we're hoping to hit, and then depending on where we land, one month it's a $50 gift card, next month $100, and at the end of a quarter they get an immediate bonus payout, and at the end of the year a much larger bonus payout, assuming we do well. And so I really try to encourage that rising tides lift all boats. If we
Right.
all work together to make the agency better, we all benefit.
Right. That's awesome, and I'm sure that helps foster a lot of, synergy between your team members because they're each helping one another make more money, right?
Right. And it's been really cool to see the engagement and the questions about it. Because at first I came back having learned about this program from a workshop and thinking they're not going to care. What are they going to care about agency math? It's not their business. It's my company. But now they see how they benefit. And so they're excited. They're saying, well, what is our AGI? Which, my God, at their age, I wouldn't have known what an AGI meant. So
Right,
it's cool to
exactly.
see that engagement and questions and buy in and just being excited about it.
I think that's awesome. I'm wondering too, how did your client business development conversations change as a result of you making this switch in the way you structured your offerings and communicate them to potential new clients? How did the conversations go? Was it an awkward did you have any I'm really curious to know the answer to this question if you have one. Did you have any existing clients who you converted over from the way you used to quote your work or spec out your work to the new way? And if you did, what did they say? And how did they react?
So we'll have to reconvene when we get to that point. We haven't converted any over yet since they
Okay.
were not at a contract
Oh, all
point.
right.
So
Well,
we'll let you
definitely
know
have to have that part two of that
how
conversation.
that goes. Yeah. Um, the biggest difference it's made is it's giving me the confidence to give a number in new business calls. I'm never going to say number because what if they don't want to work with us? And I have changed that mindset to if they don't have a number and they can't meet this minimum, it's not going to be profitable. I'm not going to waste my time. And
Right.
I can really confidently say we can deliver great value for you at this price point. Is that
Right.
something you're interested in having a further conversation about? So I'm not writing a proposal that they just end up deleting because it's way more than they expected.
I love it. And it is brave because you don't know for the first few examples how it's going to work out. But when you think about the opportunity cost you suck up in having, as an agency leader, conversations with clients who are kicking your tires or don't really know if they have money to spend or how much money they have to spend, and just focusing on those people who are already selected, have self-selected out of potentially working with you. What a time saver and an energy saver for you as leaders.
Yeah, because there was nothing more frustrating than getting all excited because you had a great meeting, working so hard on a proposal, which now is way easier because I have the proposal, those three packages, it's
Yeah.
ready. I just need to slap an intro on there. But you get all that ready, you put all that time in, and they told you they didn't know their budget, and then they immediately come back and said, "Oh, well, our budget is only XYZ." And
Mhm.
it's like, why didn't you just lead with that? So it
Right.
avoids that heartache and pain.
Exactly. What do you say to clients now who want to just work with you on a traditional hourly basis? Do you turn them away? Do you keep in touch with them, or what do you say to them? I'm curious.
We had someone that we ended up deciding to part ways. They weren't a client. We were about to engage together and we decided to part ways because I flat out said that in my experience, billing at an hourly rate does not serve either the client or us as an agency. And we haven't seen it work well.
Mhm.
And if that was truly the way they wanted to go, we were probably not the right agency for them. And they decided that they wanted to go that route. And so we walked away. And that's okay because I don't think either of us would have been happy if we'd signed that deal then.
Right. You know, I want to just take a pause and commend you for that because that is a brave thing to do and a definite sign of growth and entrepreneurial maturity to be confident enough to say, not today. This is not the opportunity for either of us today. Maybe we'll find a way in the future, but no. Even if you don't know when your next contract is going to be signed, right? So, take heed, agency owners out there listening to this. It is painful maybe the first couple of times because you don't know what you're leaping into, when you're letting go of your safety net, but, good for you. I don't have any more clear way to say it. That's awesome.
I appreciate it. I will admit it took a couple pump up conversations with my co-founder and my ops manager to be able to do it. But after we got those motivational calls out of the way, I was able to pull it and do the conversation.
Well, right. I mean, you put that energy out into the world that this is how you work with clients and the right client shows up, the next day, the next
Right.
week. I believe that anyway. What do you have to say to agency owners who want to move in this direction? And maybe you have an example or two of something you wish you would have done sooner, or something maybe you would have done differently in the implementation of this. And then I'd love to hear your ideas about maybe some first steps they can think of to move in this direction.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to just take action. You can talk about it forever, but just do it. You're never tied permanently. You can take that web page down, you can change your prices, you can change an offering,
Mhm.
but just do it and do it in a strategic way. So look back at your numbers, look back at things that you did shout outs for that, oh my gosh, this client loved this. Gather that data, gather that intel, look at your team skills. Where, what are you best at doing? Look at those pieces, and that's where you can start in developing those offerings. I also think we knew kind of a minimum level to get to profitability in terms of any kind of service. So then it was that reverse engineering you talked about of what can we plug into that gets us there.
Got
And
it.
so that we're not creating those offerings that just end up being, losing you money, because it is easy when you go through a couple months without getting any new business and you're thinking, well, okay, well, let's just throw this package out there and we'll offer to do this and things like that. And then you're stuck in this contract 6 months later saying, why? Now we have this good new business, but we took
Yep.
this stupid project that's eating up these hours. So,
Right.
I think the biggest thing is take action. Just do something.
Awesome. Do you, are there anything you would have done either sooner or later or differently when, in your implementation?
I think sooner. That's the answer. I wish I'd done this earlier, and I wish I'd had the confidence to price things what they were worth. I didn't have that confidence at first, and I was always, oh, they won't pay that because we're new, because we're a young agency, and we were still delivering at what a more mature agency could be. So that was such a silly thought in retrospect, but
Right.
it took that confidence to get there. So start sooner or price what you're worth. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
I love it. I think I have to drop the mic there. I can't think of any clearer way to get across what you just said and why agencies should think about doing this. And, for all of you who are multitasking, I'm going to give Colleen a chance in a second to tell you how to reach her and learn more about her agency. But think about, and look at the way that they've articulated what they do. And it's simple and it's elegant and it required a lot, as you've heard, it required a lot of experience and years of thought and massaging, but all of you have the potential, if you're a niche focused agency, to think this way about your business too. So give it a hard think. Look at your agency math, see if it makes sense to you, and then think about how you can socialize it with your clients and with your team members, right? Because they're your partners in implementing something like this. Well, Colleen, this has been a great and energizing conversation. I've loved learning your story and your experience in implementing this. I feel like it's going to be wildly successful for you and for OnWrd and UpWrd. What a perfect name in light of the topic of today's conversation. So, how can agencies find out more about OnWrd and UpWrd, and how could they connect with you if they'd like to learn more?
The best way to find me is on LinkedIn, Colleen Gallagher, and you can get to our website from there. It's onwardupward.com, but I'm all over LinkedIn and checking it constantly. So that's the quickest way to find us, and from there, find our company and learn more about us.
Well, I want to thank you for sharing your smarts today. It's been a great conversation. And I want to thank all of you for joining us today. It's been good to talk with you all, and we will see you on the next episode. So have a great day, everybody. Until next time, be well.